Hi, hello, welcome. I'm Lori, a mostly solo traveler, and today we're going to talk about why I think the Moxy Hotel chain is the best hotels for solo female travelers. I found that Moxy Hotels are usually either very centrally located, either near the airport or in the big center of town in the tourist districts in most major cities. So if you're laying over for just one night and you need a hotel crash pad, Moxy is great for that, and most of the time they have a free or very cheap airport shuttle that gets you back and forth from the airport to the hotel. And if they're located in the tourist district, that means they're often walkable to most major attractions, or at least near the metro or other public transportation, which will keep your transportation costs down while you're sightseeing in that city. Reason number two, the rooms may be a little bit on the smaller side when you compare them to other hotel chains, but they are very functional. They have all the space you need as a solo traveler. The one thing I have noticed is they don't have a lot of horizontal space in the rooms. Like, they don't have a lot of drawers, they don't have a lot of desk or counter space in the room, but they do have a lot of vertical hanging space. And honestly, a lot of times the bathrooms are quite large, especially compared to the size of the room. And for me, I like having a little bit of a counter space to lay out all my toiletries, and I've always found that very convenient with Moxy. And the showers are a decent size, the beds are comfortable, so the rooms may be small, but they're functional and they've always been great for what I've needed. Reason number three is the fun and social spaces. Now, the rooms may be compact, but down in the lobby, there's a lot of great hangout spaces in Moxy Hotels. You know, in the Dublin Moxy Hotel, there was lots of hanging basket chairs and lots of plants and lots of greenery, and it was a very comfortable, cozy space to hang out. There's also lots of tables and lots of work surfaces, little banquettes and things like that where you can post up with your laptop, and there's plenty of outlets, which is great if you're trying to work remotely. And then the Moxy Hotel in Memphis had 3 pinball machines, which was super cool. And it also had ample seating and outlets and places to get some work done if that was what you needed to do. And as a solo traveler, it's a great space to socialize, maybe meet fellow travelers and things like that. But you can always escape to the respite of your room if you need your space and peace and quiet. Reason number 4 that I like Moxy Hotels as a solo female traveler is that their dining spaces are on the casual side. So a lot of the nicer hotels have fancy sit-down fine dining restaurants where some people tend to feel uncomfortable going in dining as a solo traveler. But Moxy's dining spaces are all very casual. They're mixed in actually with those functional social spaces that I talked about earlier, and there's also a lot of bar seating and things like that. So you can go grab a quick bite, very casual, very low-key. You don't have to get dressed up fancy, and you're not gonna feel like, oh my gosh, I'm the only solo traveler here and they're gonna cram me, you know, in the table by the kitchen door, things like that. They're very solo travel friendly dining options at Moxy, which I absolutely love. Reason number 5 I like Moxy is the vibes. Now, I've said it before on this channel, but as somebody who is fast approaching 50, hostels are not my vibe. I like to have my own private sleeping space and my own private bathroom. Nothing wrong with hostels, they're just not for me. But what I like about Moxy is I can have my private sleeping space, my private bathroom, my own room, my own space, but then go down into the lobby and hang out in those social areas, which are just like such a fun vibe. You know, there's board games, there's books, there's activities, there's, like I said, in Nashville, pinball machines, and if you want to strike up a conversation with someone, you can, and you can make friends, you can meet people at the bar. The staff is typically on the younger, trendier side and give great recommendations for local dining and restaurants and things like that if you ask them. They've always been more than willing to share their personal favorites for local places to go rather than just the prescribed tourist favorites. So that's something that I really like about Moxy, is you get the benefit of a kind of a youthful hip staff, you get the benefit of social spaces in the downstairs, but then you still get your private sleeping space and bathroom and things like that. So it's a great kind of bridge from going to hostel to fancy hotel. Moxy falls kind of squarely in the middle in terms also of price point. It is pricier than a hostel, but it's going to be cheaper than staying at a Westin or a JW Marriott or something like that. So it's kind of a great middle ground for a solo female traveler, especially if you're like me and you're kind of in your midlife. Another thing I like about Moxy Hotels is that they are part of the Marriott Hotel group. So when I stay there, I earn Marriott Bonvoy points. And in the same vein, I might end up with an upgraded room because of my Marriott status. So if you're not playing the points and miles game, I definitely suggest you sign up for both Marriott Bonvoy points, Hyatt points, and also IHG points. Signing up for all of those points programs are free, and every time you stay at any one of the hotels within their networks, you earn hotel points. So Marriott consists of JW Marriott, Ritz-Carlton, Westin, and then some more long-term Residence Inn, Courtyard Inn, and of course the Moxy Hotels chain. So you earn points along the way. You can eventually redeem those points for free hotel nights and upgrades and things like that. So I love the fact that Moxy is in the Marriott hotel chain, because Marriott right now is my biggest source of points that I have acquired over the years, and I'm a platinum member with them. So I earn points when I stay at cheaper hotels like Moxy, and then I redeem those points for things like stays. I recently did a stay at the Ritz-Carlton Grand Lakes here in Orlando, Florida, a little staycation. I'll link that up in the cards, and I redeemed my Marriott points for that, for a one-night little staycation, for a fun little escape from reality freebie. Another cool thing about the Moxy Hotels is that when you check in, you get a coupon for a free drink. Now this could be a beer, a wine, or their specialty cocktail or mocktail. It is kind of a select list, so you're not just gonna get free reign of the bar menu. But instead of giving you the welcome drink when you first walk in, check into the hotel like they do at some of the higher end hotels, they give you either a little drink coupon or a little token depending on the hotel, and you can redeem this at any point during your stay. So it's, you know, when you're checking into a hotel and somebody's handing you a drink, that's nice to have a cold, refreshing beverage. But if you're checking in midday, you might not want a cocktail at that moment. You might rather have it before you have dinner or with your dinner. So it's nice that they give you the coupon and the chance to redeem it when you want to. So I really appreciate that about Moxy, and I've had some really interesting specialty cocktails in my travels while I've stayed at Moxy Hotels. Another thing that I really like about Moxy Hotels is their grab-and-go cases. In addition to their sit-down casual dining option, they often have a wall of cold cases with grab-and-go options. So you'll find not only grab-and-go cold beverages, sodas, waters, sometimes kombuchas, bottled beer, little bottles of wine, things like that. You'll also find pre-made sandwiches, like little snack size veggie trays, things like that, maybe little tiny cheese boards. They have bagged chips, pretzels, different things like that you can purchase, whether you want to take them up into your room in case you get late night munchies, or if you want to grab a little bite for breakfast on the go on your way to the airport or something like that. Their grab and go options are super convenient and pretty reasonably priced, and it saves you from having to run out to a convenience store every time you want to get a little snack or things like that. So I really think that's a great option for just convenience sake. All of that being said, I think Moxy Hotels are great for a solo female traveler, and I also think they would be for a couple who is great with, you know, sharing a smaller space, a little cozy space, things like that. Who I don't think Moxy Hotels are good for are families, unless maybe you're just staying there for one night. It's gonna be cramped, it's gonna be cozy, but I don't really have the kind of the family vibe from Moxy Hotels. And then also, I don't think it would be ideal for something like a girls trip. When you have, you know, a girls trip and you have a couple of girls, like 2, 3, 4 girls in a room, the rooms at Moxy are just on the small side for that. And once you add multiple people and multiple luggage, especially if you've got friends like mine who hair, makeup, lots of outfits, things like that spread out everywhere, Moxy's not the hotel for that. You want to go with something like maybe a Westin or a JW Marriott, something with a bit more space. Those are all the reasons Moxy Hotels are my favorite hotel chain as a solo female traveler. Have you ever stayed at a Moxy Hotel? Drop me a comment below and let me know. Don't forget to like the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more great travel content. See you in the next one.